so many people that say that are so annoying.
Yeah, but scientists are saying the same thing now.
Yeah, well,
Quantum physicists are saying, I think his name's Professor Gates. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Professor Gates, and he said that they've broken down reality into the smallest level, and it's a computer code.
yes, I've seen that guy.
Not
I've
only is
seen
a
that guy
computer
get-
code, it's a specific computer code of zeros and ones, and it was invented in the 1940s or something.
Yeah, I've seen that guy being interviewed. We actually talked about it with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I tried to get him to sort of break it down and explain. But what it is essentially that when you break reality down to the smallest level, it mimics a self-correcting computer code. Not just a computer code, but a computer code that's self-correcting, which is right there. I just said a bunch of noises that I don't even understand. You know, it's got.
Listen to this.
You know, the word universe means universe. I'm a musician.
Right.
So
One verse.
one verse, one song. So there is a rhythm, you know, there is algorithm, arithmetics. We know that in these things, in my books, I use etymology a lot and how English came.
So the ultra terrestrials, I'll just tell you. The ultra terrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future.
Christ was not the only time traveler. There was Thoth, Kedea, Melchizedek, many, many others. The thread goes back further than Atlantis, further than Lemuria.
Simple explanation for an outsider. The person behind this conversation has developed a personal interpretive framework he calls the scaffolding, or the 108 pulse. It is not a new religion. It is his way of seeing one underlying pattern that appears across many spiritual traditions, myths, sacred numbers, and geometry. At its heart, the framework says, all existence comes from a single unified source, often called light, and this unity can be directly remembered and lived. He uses ancient texts as symbolic maps of consciousness rather than literal history or dogma. Thomas 18 and Thomas 50, the traveler's orientation. Thomas 18, blessed is the one who stands at the beginning. That one will know the end and will not taste death. He reads this as a blessing on those who return to the pure origin, the light before fragmentation. Because they stand at the beginning, they can see the entire loop. The end is already known. They are not trapped by linear time in the same way. Thomas 50, if they say to you, where did you come from? Say to them, we came from the light, the place where the light came into being on its own accord. We are its children, and we are the chosen of the living Father. This is the practical answer a traveler gives when asked about their origin in a different time or branch. It is not claiming superiority, it is simply stating the shared source. The Dogon-Nomo parallel. The Dogon people preserve stories of the Nomo, fish-like or amphibious beings from the Sirius star system who arrived in a vessel and taught early humans language, farming, astronomy, and social order. Because these teachers could move through realms the early humans could not, they appeared as fish people from the stars. In the framework, this is seen as a mythic example of the loop. Light, intelligence from a more complete state, travels backwards to seed earlier stages. It adapts its form, fish-like because it swims where others walk. This joins the end, advanced knowledge, with the beginning, early humanity, pointing to the sun and stars. When language fails across branches or cultures, the simple gesture is used, pointing to the sun and stars. This is the universal language. The sun represents the living light. The stars represent the scattered points of the same light. No complicated teaching is needed, just the reminder, we came from there. The full Thomas sequence in the framework. He arranges selected sayings as stages of perception. Thomas 2, seek until you find. The search brings trouble, then astonishment, then mastery over the all. Thomas 18, stand at the beginning and know the end. Thomas 50, declare the origin as light. Thomas 77, see the light already present in everything. Split wood, lift the stone, I am there. Thomas 106 of 108, make the two one. Drink from the mouth, become the light, and the hidden things are revealed. Emerald Tablets, Children of Light, Comparison. In the Emerald Tablets, Thoth speaks of the children of light, beings who have awakened to their true nature, moved beyond ordinary death, and work to help humanity remember. They are not separate gods, but awakened expressions of the same light. This parallels Thomas 50, We Are Its Children, very closely. Both describe identity rooted in the light rather than in mortal form or linear history. Both point to a state of remembrance that allows service across time without being trapped by it. Overall purpose of the framework. The scaffolding is a symbolic integration model. It connects fragmented traditions into one living pattern, the 108 pulse, and describes stages of shifting from separated me consciousness to unified we awareness. It is offered freely, not as doctrine, but as a map for anyone ready to remember the light in their own way. This is the current understanding.